What's a common rule that you break regularly because you fundamentally disagree with it? I run red lights in rural and neighborhood intersections that shouldn't have traffic lights to begin with. I treat them like a stop sign instead, even looking for a glimmer of somebody running with no lights. This is particularly true in a neighborhood adjacent to ours. The mayor lives in the next neighborhood and he has the light set to default green for all exits from his neighborhood, which means the much busier streets are default red. The light changes are about long enough for 2-3 cars before it switches back, and the delay is 2 minutes. Infuriating. Putting the toilet seat down. Why is it so important for guys to put it down? We're all adults. When you go to the toilet, check whether it's up or down. If it's up, put it down. It's not that hard. I'm not really sure why it annoys me so much. I pee sitting down, so it's not like it happens to me often. It's probably because of the way most girls talk about it. They make it out to seem as the worst thing you can do. Although, when people say to put both the seat and lid down, it makes sense. That all of humanity has to be obedient little worker bees and work in a field that contributes something to society itself. Smart for a living, and I love doing that because it's one of the only ways I can engage creatively in a way I like and not have to participate in the currently very broken and staged capitalistic system. The social convention of saying sorry to people for crappy things in their lives that had nothing to do with me. Oh, your pet died. I'm sorry. Oh, you didn't get that promotion. I'm sorry. Oh, your team didn't win a game. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for those things, and I refuse to say I am. Instead, I say, that's awful. I know how much you loved your pet. That's rough, but maybe you'll get the next promotion or a better opportunity. Tough to lose, but you'll get a next time. You shouldn't leech off others. Yes, I will. I frequent deal forums. I will order that free sample, even if shipping it emits quite a bit of CO2. I will open multiple accounts to use sign-up bonuses multiple times. I will order my food with a ridiculous discount code and lose the company money from their advertising budget. And to top it off, I will refer myself to multiple bank accounts, receive the sign-up bonus 2 times, and then close them. When dining in the US, you're supposed to cut the food with the knife in your right hand and the fork in your left hand. Then switch the fork over to your right hand to eat. I just do it the European way and eat with the fork that's already in my left hand. It turns out this is called the zigzag method, or quickie eating utensil etiquette American style, and it is thankfully in decline. So I suppose I am a part of that change. I go to work between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. I stop at red lights, ascertain if there are vehicles approaching, and continue through if there aren't. Speeding. Plus, state police can't stop for 6 miles per hour or less over the speed limit, so I set the cruise at 6 over. Sometimes I live dangerously and go with 8 to 10 over. Municipal police can't stop for 10 miles per hour or less over. I will not use a turn signal in a turn-only lane. I make turns where there are signs prohibiting it. Might get my account deleted for this really, but I do believe suicide is for some people. I'm not talking about human euthanasia for the sick, no. Motives of protection. People who are genuinely evil and do not belong among society. I do believe if someone else doesn't do it, they should do it themselves, and that telling them to do so is not wrong. Legal speed limits. Ation to the actual safe maximum speed to drive on that particular section of road, in that particular weather condition, in that particular traffic condition, at that particular level of daylight, etc. I adjust my speed according to safety, not according to a nice round number. I will never follow the speed limit. Speed limits were created when cars couldn't travel as fast as they do now, and as safely as they do now. All speed limits can likely be raised by at least 10-15 mph, and it would still be perfectly safe to travel. The only reason they keep the speed limits as they are now is to generate profit via speeding tickets. In the US, the leftmost to innermost lane on a highway is for passing only. I hate this rule. If people actually followed this, it would leave a lane empty and force those who are traveling long distances to be in the way of anyone trying to exit. Luckily, we've pretty much totally thrown this rule out because no one ever respects it. I steal food and necessities from multi-billion-dollar corporations that I otherwise couldn't afford to buy if I didn't steal them. I wouldn't have them, and would starve or be dirty. Nothing you can say will make me feel guilty for stealing granola bars and razor blades from a billionaire insured against theft. Speed limits. So many of them are set ridiculously low for modern vehicles. If I can safely cruise at 80 and I'm flowing with other traffic, I will. Would much rather be the going 15-20 over keeping with traffic than having people fly up on me and being more of a hazard doing the limit. Left turn red arrows. If there's a green light for traffic going straight, and I can clearly see there are nitrogen monoxide oncoming cars, I turn left. Even if the arrow is red. Obviously, if the view is obstructed, I'll wait. I'm talking about when you can clearly see a quarter mile down the road. I no longer shoplift because I'm no longer a homeless drug addict, however. I do shoplift from Goodwill and Value Village because they're a fake charity and they overprice all their items. You get your items for free. Why should anybody pay $19.99 for a very used pocket t-shirt of Interstate 35E in St. Paul, MN? Has the speed limit of 45 for the sole reason that the Richies that live overlooking St. Paul didn't like the nose, so they fought to lower the freeway speed. I'm usually going 60. Coming to a full stop at stop signs. There's really no need. If you slow down enough to be able to look in all directions and see that no one is coming, you shouldn't have to come to a complete stop. I only do it if I see a cop ram. I resent Walmart has about 18 parking spaces reserved, with numbers for curbside pickup. I'm at your store right now wanting to park. I never take the ones closest to the store, but refuse to leave them empty. Don't talk about your pay at work, or at all. No, because finances are incredibly important, and I sure as fuck would wanna know what a job pays. This is my life we're talking about. Money makes it good. I take to 30-minute breaks rather than a 30, and to separate such a long walk to the smoke shelter it made perfect sense that I'd get control of the TV set for at least 15 minutes. Tipping when I make minimum wage. Live in a state where servers can't get paid less than I do. And sales tax is considered progressive for reasons that could all apply to tipping. We're not supposed to get overtime at work, but if I have to stay late during the week out of necessity, I'll be damned if I'm going to leave early on a Friday to avoid the OT. Right now I pirate guilt-free because streaming services suck more and more. And you never know when some asshole game service is going to delete a game you bought tomorrow. Park an electric vehicle only parking if they don't have chargers. Best Buy or the Pro customers. Home Depot, as they are commonly empty and usually closed to the door. That you need to pay medical bills. I refuse. I pay $600 a month for my family to have decent health insurance. Any extra cost is a scam, and I refuse to participate. Speeding, and nearly everyone that commutes for work does it. Because I see it every day. Until I was laid off, now I don't need to drive much currently. Coming to a complete stop at an empty intersection with no other cars, bicycles or pedestrians where I can clearly see every cross street and sidewalk. Speed limits, they just became instantly stupid here. I rather pay $100,200 when cash happens monthly and waste 10 hours on my work way alone. When I was in university, I handed in all my assignments at least a day late, because the rule was only a 1 deduction per day, capping at 10. Most people say bless you when someone sneezes. I prefer to stop what I'm doing, look them in the eyes and bellow, stop spreading play. Dating multiple men concurrently. Monogamy isn't for me. Polyamory all the way. But I also believe everyone should do what's right for them. Crossing the street in the middle is fine when there are no cars. Also, it's okay to go diagonally at crosswalks for the same reason. I help homeless people on the streets by passing out food. Never know what they've been through. I've gotten tickets for it too. Sad. Speed limits on desolate rural backroads. I can see across the flat landscape for miles are more suggestions than actual rules. Sometimes I'll borrow something from the store for free. Only big corporate brands though. Because fuck corporate, I'm American. Smoke to joints in the morning. Smoke to joints at night. Smoke to joints in the afternoon. Make me feel alright. If you land on free parking, I grew up playing where you win all the money in the middle. Don't care about the real rules. Seat belts, my guy. If I want to be launched through my windshield at over 50 mph, let me live out that fantasy. Getting around paywalls. I understand financially supporting journalism, but I can't subscribe to everything. When I'm on my bike and I reach a stop sign light and there are 0 other vehicles around, I won't stop. The half your age plus 7 years rule for age gap dating. This 63F prefers men in their 20s and 30s. Sometimes I don't follow the speed limit on the road, so I tend to have the tendencies to drive fast. Don't ever talk about your exes with your current partner. We're all adults. That's so dumb and silly. Saying bless you when someone sneezes. We don't say anything when someone coughs, so why now? Max 20 items in self-checkout. I used to work at said grocery store and know what I'm doing. If something is no longer being published, I don't have qualms about copyright infringement. I don't do this, but I have friends who allegedly do. Piracy, software, movies, music. Got to always wear socks with shoes, right? Nah. Flip-flops are my saviors in the summer. I've been stoned for 95 of the last 35 years. It's the only reason I'm still alive. Being on time for work. Luckily, my job is cool as long as I put in my 8 hours. Taking some free food at self-checkout to get better quality, healthier food. Wearing white after Labor Day. Like every day is a day after Labor Day. I don't always follow my parents' advice because they're old and antiqued.